Pat the Designer, P.Kidd, Views from the Bleachers podcast. Question on the table today. Will LeBron James finish his career with the Los Angeles Lakers, or could we see a trade on the horizon? Let's talk about it starting now. Question on the table. Like I said, LeBron James. We've got quotes from LeBron in a post-game presser before we got to the New Year's Day festivities, where he essentially talked about, not wanting to finish his career here. Let's listen into what LeBron had to say about it.
When you're thinking about where you are in your career, are you thinking about the big picture of the team, of the season, or do you find yourself right now more focused on the day-to-day? Do you kind of narrow your vision?
I have multiple thoughts. I think about the day-to-day of obviously how we get better throughout the course of this season, but how we get better from game to game. I think about how much longer I'm going to play the game. I think about that I don't want to finish my career, playing at this level. From a team aspect, I must still be able to compete for championships because I know what I can still bring to any ball club with the right pieces. I think about my son graduating high school soon and going off to college, and I'm still playing, and my youngest son is a junior next year, and how much more time I'll miss. So throughout the course of a day to the weeks to the months, think about a little bit of everything. Think about how much of the war I'm gonna see.
So he says there, right? Like, and of course, right? It could be, oh my God, everybody's reading into this. This is gonna be nuts. But I mean, listen, when I hear that, I'm listening in on a guy that is literally saying, I feel like I can bring my talents and the biggest point, like we all both chuckled about, to any team that has the right pieces. Kid, the Los Angeles Lakers clearly do not have the right pieces when we're seeing Troy Brown Jr., a guy that we know really well here, start at times on this Lakers team. Will LeBron James finish his career with the Los Angeles Lakers, or is a trade on the horizon that actually can get done?
I don't think the Lakers trade him, and I don't think they should. If I'm Jenny Buss, I'm not trading LeBron James. I'm not at all. The reason why is because this is the bed you made, you have to lay in. Love LeBron. I love what he's done for the game of basketball. Absolutely. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend like we don't currently have DeMar DeRozan on our team as Bulls fans.
Yep.
When he has interviews saying, oh, I thought I was a Laker.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pretend as if they didn't have trade packages or other packages to get him help outside of Russell Westbrook. And him, Anthony Davis, and Russ had to sit down. It was like, hey, come here. Like, I'm not going to sit there and pretend like that didn't happen. Everyone else can in the national media. I've heard them say, oh, LeBron didn't sign off on this. It's Rob Pelinka's fault, stuff like that. No, Rob Pelinka had two really good packages to get him some help alongside Anthony Davis, and they chose Russ. So you gotta eat that. It may not be what you want. You gotta eat that. And so I'm not trading him. He's gonna have to play that contract out if I'm a Lakers organization.
Here's where I look at it and I say I would move LeBron James if I had the opportunity to. I think there's always opportunity to move LeBron. I think he's still, I don't believe he's the best player in the NBA anymore. I think he's still top 5 probably, and he still could fight his way back up to that best player if he was actually on a team that mattered, right? Like LeBron's still in that conversation right now with how he's playing if the Lakers actually are a winning organization and playing winning basketball. But for me, I would make the trade even if he's upset about it, even no matter what it is, right? Maybe you make a trade, which you're probably going to only be able to make a trade that helps you in the long run with a team that's already a playoff contender, right? Because you need draft picks. The Lakers do not own a draft pick on this team until 2026. You've given up everything for LeBron James. You've given up everything that you could to get Russ, to get Anthony Davis, to get you a ring. You won the ring. Congratulations. You gave up a young team that at this point in the league probably would be a really, really good basketball team. You just didn't put the right coach with him, and you didn't put the right coach with LeBron. He just was LeBron James. So I think right, like to me, I would make the move because right now the Lakers have no future. The Lakers don't have a future until 2026. That is 3 years from now. We just got to 2023. They have nothing of their own that they can build up. Anthony Davis doesn't seem like he's going to be a piece that's going to be able to be on the court long enough for you to win enough games for you to feel good about the Anthony Davis move. I would try to blow this thing up as much as possible. You may have to sit on the Russ deal. Listen, you're not moving on for $40 million. You're just not. But that ends next season. You can restart there. I would start fresh at this point in the season. You have you're not going to the playoffs this year. You might get a play.
Interestingly enough, the statistics do support the fact that the Lakers, when they were healthy with AD and with Russ, actually had a better record without LeBron. And so you could argue the fact that trading him may be worth it. Yeah. But again, AD's down. I haven't heard much about Russ in the last month or so.
Russ has just been he's been solid. He's accepted the role that he's in.
Which is kind of sad because I do think Russ is the type of player that needs to have the ball in his hand. Yeah. He needs to be a starting point.
They should have never
initiate your offense.
They should have never been put together.
If they were going to put them together, LeBron needs to be an off-ball player, which he's never been in his career,
and he's never going to be.
When he was off-ball and he was with a good team, first year in Miami, take a look at it.
Yeah, and
D-Wade have to be like, "Hey, dog." Come with it.
Get on ball. Get on the ball.
Come with it.
Take the ball.
And so, like, he doesn't have that now. Yeah. And so, it's interesting. Here's the funny part. Where does he go? Who actually trades for him that's a contender at that? The only people who are contenders that have picks that would be even worth considering. Do you trade him in the conference? He has to go back east.
I'll say this. I think probably back east. Probably back east. But I will say this, right? There's two kinds of teams that are going to have trade packages on the floor. There are the teams that have kind of the older veteran, lower tier players, right? Brooklyn might be a team. They've got the picks from Philly that you could throw back in that. You just want to run the East. You want to gang up. You know what I mean? Like now you still got to make some money work, right? It might not be the scenario that we think. It might not be the scenario that we think, right? Because you still got to make the money even, but you could throw a slate of picks in there. Maybe throw a couple of players if it's literally just a fire sale move. I could see that. It would be ridiculous. I would just say, okay, we're done. Let's just call it a season, boys, and get up out of here.
The funny thing is, to make the money work, I don't know what the stipulations would be, but I think they could do it end of this season. You could trade Ben Simmons out and some picks out for LeBron James if you just want to be done.
Well, that's probably what it would be. That's probably more than likely what you would be looking at. Ben Simmons, they'd have to send a couple players back to try and make the money work on this end with some draft capital.
Ben Simmons' contract, the money work because LeBron doesn't make.
LeBron don't make that much. Brian don't make more than Ben, so you got to make the money even plus the draft capital.
Ben plus the draft capital. I mean, you would only be doing it. The Lakers would have to make
the money even. I'm saying,
but then you have two players of the same problem because you have Ben Simmons and Russell Westbrook. So you'd be like, but you'd be better defensively.
I think what the mentality there is that, hey, we're going to suck this year anyway. We'll have Ben Simmons at least as a piece that we can start with. We know that he's going to be a good point guard, a good facilitator, a good defender. Russ is going to be going next season. Maybe Ben Simmons and Anthony Davis is a combination that we like a little bit better. Russ is kind of that bench point guard role. You don't want to play those two together at all. I don't care if he does make $40 million. And I could see that being a scenario, or you get the desperate team, right? There are teams out there that have a ton of draft capital. There are teams out there that have a ton of young players that have fallen out of contention completely. And like you've said with a lot of these times, you got these young dudes, but you ain't got nobody that can get them to that next level, and you're not going to get a star there. F them picks. So in that situation, right, for me,
how much you want to bet he goes back to Cleveland?
You better come calling. OKC.
He goes back to Cleveland.
I don't think Cleveland has the picks to get it done, and they would have to move.
They got the 2023 pick, they got the 2024 pick, and they got the 2026 pick. They got picks. They got their lower pick. Okay, yeah. They got 1 through 14 for 2023.
Who's the player that you're moving on from, though?
Mobley.
For me, huh?
Evan Mobley. I'm giving Evan Mobley a chance to actually grow in LA Not as much. He's not because if you
not
get
growing as
LeBron
much.
on your roster, Evan Mobley's not getting the same touches. He's gonna be
If
he's
you
gonna
get LeBron
have
on
the
your
same
roster,
problem Kyle Kuzma had.
yeah. If you get LeBron on your roster, Evan Mobley's on the bench.
That's your power. That's your power forward. That's your small forward. That's it. So now you got to worry about Darius Garland. You know,
oh my God, that's still a tall lineup.
That's a tall lineup.
LeBron is 6'10".
It's a tall
Good
lineup.
Lord.
You can, they got Darius Garland still. They got Donovan Mitchell. They got Jared Allen. They got Kevin Love still there. You could trade two of those pieces to get LeBron and still be in contention in the East. I'm not saying it's a wash, but he would definitely be better. He would be better even without Darius Garland and Evan Mobley with the remaining pieces on the Cavs than he would with the Lakers right now.
I think the biggest fear that the Cavs would have to have in that situation is, does that destroy Darius Garland? Because neither of those guys, I think it would accentuate Karis LeVert because he's kind of turned himself into a little bit of more of an off-ball player. He's still not great at it, but he's a little bit better. But Darius Garland is not an off-ball player. Donovan Mitchell is not an off-ball player. Now you got 3 on-ball players that all can get a bucket. Not saying they can't, and LeBron can facilitate it, but you're taking the ball out of a lot of guys' hands.
The one thing that we know for a fact, though, is Donovan Mitchell has never played with another wing like LeBron. He's never had it.
Listen. Neither has most of the NBA.
No, he's never played with like another all-star wing. Correct me if I'm wrong. He didn't have that in Utah.
No, he's never had an all-star wing.
So we don't know what that would look like. But guess what? Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell play the same position essentially. They're practically the same height. They seem to be getting it done. I don't see how that would be an issue.
They're the most hilarious dynamic in the NBA to me because I look at them and I be like, man, y'all both be inefficient, but y'all just be inefficient at different times, so it works out perfectly. Hey, man, we want to know how you guys feel. Hey, we want to know how you guys feel, man. Let us know in the comments below. Do you think LeBron James will finish his career with the Lakers? Do you think a trade is on the horizon? Or are you like Kidd? You think the Genie Bus should just make him laying it in the bed that he has made? As always, man, let us know in the comments below. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Hey, and if you got a different opinion than us, you just might be sitting in a different section. Views from the Bleachers Podcast. Peace.